the most part, we women have this tendency that we want men to read our minds. You're not bringing the right colors into her piece. But one thing we need to understand is that just because that person did something doesn't mean the next person is going to be the same.
There's some women that did not being rightfully loved and
right
truly loved.
So
I was just gonna ask you, this is kind of like off topic, but is there a right way to love a woman? And let's not go into all this Disney thing, because I'm tired of all this Disney thing that we see on screen. Because I feel
so I think
in a realistic setting now, is there a right way to do it?
Yeah, there is. And I will say this, for the most part, we women have this tendency that we want men to read our minds, and that's where expectations come in. I do believe that a mature woman will actually tell you right away her needs and what she's expecting, so that there are no fairy tale expectations of you reading her mind, or any type of off-topic expectations. So I do believe that a mature woman will put right in front of you, since the beginning, what she's looking for, what she wants out of the relationship, what she's expecting out of you. Otherwise, it will go everything into a jungle. Yes.
A train wreck.
Yes, because I was expecting this, but you're not giving it to me. So guess what? Right there, you're not being the right artist for her. You're not painting her piece as she was expecting it. Right at that moment, you're not being the artist that she wants. You're not bringing the right colors into her piece. Does that make sense? I know
it makes a lot of sense. Oh, by the way, you said women have expectations and they don't communicate. I just want to point out that some men do that too, whereby they just do something and they expect they'll be like, oh, I just walked in front of her and I expected her to notice me. Like, no, you still gotta engage.
Oh yeah.
So many things, it's weird how we leave so many things out there for this invisible imagination and interpretation, whereby we don't say what we want, but then we expect the other person to know. I think it's a cultural thing. It's something that's been happening in the past, but the world keeps evolving, and I think people need to strengthen their communication skills more when it comes to
and you know what, this new, I don't know if you've seen this nowadays, but the new tendency of, oh, I don't show love, I don't show love, that's not me,
Oh yeah, that's trending.
That doesn't make us any cooler or any better. We as human beings, we should think that life is only happens once. You might get in, God forbid, you might get into your car, you drive around, that's it, you're gone. No, listen, I always pray before I get into my car to drive, because you just don't know. Everything is so unpredictable. You understand? So sure. I don't need to sound harsh or anything, but I'm just being realistic.
It's the truth. You could be walking down by the train station and the train goes off track and just slams. Nah, I was just joking.
Thank you.
The chances of that happening is 1 out of 1 million, though.
So the whole thing is just life just happens once. If you love somebody, just let them know. Actually, you just remind me of a perfect quote that I love. And it says, love is an act of faith, not an exchange. We love because we need to love. Otherwise, the sun ceases to shine. And that's by Paulo Coelho. That's by Paulo Coelho.
Beautiful.
It's actually my lifetime quote since I was very young, since I was very, very young. But you know, it's true. You know, why we actually keep in feelings that we want to tell, you know, our partner we love them, just let them know, because they might be waiting to hear that from you in order to take the next step, the next big step, or whatever that is.
Yeah, I know people who who give out love measurably, and they're like, if I tell her I love her like every day, she take me for granted. So
look, I understand.
Like once in 6 months.
No, look, I understand that, because there are people that have been hurt. But one thing we need to understand is that just because that person did something doesn't mean the next person is going to be the same. Everybody is different. And yes, there are a lot of people that do bad things, you know, but I don't think that everybody is totally bad and not everybody's totally good. We always have that middle, you know, and evil people, you know, they sometimes are not the ones who do evil things. Sometimes are the good people who do evil things.
Yeah, and this is what you just said is so profound, because I stopped seeing people as good and bad. I just see people as human. And I think it's so dangerous for people to see themselves as good and not acknowledging the fact that there might be this shadow side, because every light has a shadow side. And if you know that, you know what, I'm capable of this kind of bad thing, you can keep yourself in check. But if you don't acknowledge that you're capable of doing something bad and you think you're good all the time, I think that's toxic. And I think that is bad, because you might do something bad and you wouldn't know and you wouldn't acknowledge it and you wouldn't improve. So that's why I said what you just said is so profound, that human beings, we have good and bad side. There's a middle ground. And the middle ground to me is just you knowing yourself deeply, knowing that you're someone that's improving, knowing that you're capable of doing this thing, but then you can practice self-control and just focus on what's good, and just keep bettering yourself. That's what I picked up.